We live in a world where society's perception of wealth is completely distorted by social media. You log online and see people your age driving $70,000 SUVs, taking tropical vacations, and living in massive homes, and you automatically assume everyone is getting rich, except you. But the reality is completely different. When you look at the actual data from the Federal Reserve, the numbers tell a story that most people are completely unprepared for. We are currently living in a split-screen economy. On one side, the stock market has hit record highs and the economy looks great on paper. On the other side, prices are roughly 25% higher today than they were in 2020, and 67% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. When financial articles talk about average net worth, those numbers are heavily skewed by billionaires and ultra-wealthy outliers. It is like saying the average height in a room is 7 feet tall, just because one professional basketball player is standing next to 9 average-sized people. What you actually want to look at is the median net worth, which is the exact middle point where half the people are above and half are below. The median tells the true, often uncomfortable story of the American middle class. If you are ready to stop comparing yourself to fake internet wealth and want to find out exactly where you stand so you can beat the statistics, hit that subscribe button right now. Let us dive into the average net worth by age in 2026. Section 1. The foundation phase of your 20s. Let us start with the foundation phase, your 20s. The median net worth for people in their 20s is just $6,689. Meanwhile, the average is completely distorted at over $127,000. Why is the median so incredibly low? Because your 20s are a decade of building, and for many people, digging out of a massive hole. People are graduating with massive student loans, taking on their first car payments, and working entry-level jobs where the salaries are generally lower. Because of this, saving and investing often take a back seat to just surviving, paying rent, and filling the gas tank. But here is the financial target you should be aiming for. Financial experts at Fidelity recommend having 1 times your annual salary saved and invested by the time you reach age 30. Since the median income for a 30-year-old is roughly $52,000, that should be your initial net worth goal. To get there, you must ruthlessly avoid any consumer debt with an interest rate over 10%, like credit cards or personal loans. The power of compound returns in your 20s is so powerful that targeting a savings rate of 15 to 20% right now can mathematically guarantee you become a multi-millionaire by retirement, all by doing the heavy lifting early. Section 2. The messy middle of your 30s. Next, we enter the messy middle, your 30s. The median net worth for this decade is $24,580. Again, the average looks like an absolute fantasy at $321,549. The 30s are notorious for being the most financially squeezing decade of your entire life. Yes, your career is gaining traction, and you are likely making more money, but your responsibilities absolutely explode. This is the decade where people buy their first home, get married, and pay astronomical costs for childcare. It is also the decade where lifestyle inflation creeps in. You make more money, so you automatically start spending more money. The financial target for the end of your 30s is to have 3 times your annual salary saved by age 40. If you are making $61,000 a year, your goal should be roughly $185,000. If you are making $100,000 a year, that goal bumps up to $300,000. To hit this target, you need to keep your lifestyle inflation completely under control, aggressively pay down any remaining bad debt, and ensure you have a fully stocked emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. In your 30s, unexpected surgeries or a broken water heater can derail your wealth, so having cash acts as the ultimate defense. Section 3. The make or break 40s. Now we hit the make or break decade, your 40s. The median net worth in your 40s rises to $76,479. In this decade, your earning potential is likely approaching its absolute peak. However, this is also the exact moment where the most dangerous wealth trap is triggered. People in their 40s look at their rising income and feel they have earned the right to upgrade their lifestyle. They buy the bigger house, finance the luxury cars, and take the more expensive vacations. Because their fixed costs expand to perfectly match their massive salaries, their liquid wealth completely stalls. In fact, Generation X is currently carrying an average of $158,000 in debt, the highest of any generation. They are the sandwich generation, paying for their kids' college while also helping their aging parents. The recommended target here is aggressive. You should aim to have 6 times your annual salary saved by age 50. If you are making $100,000 a year, that means targeting a net worth of $600,000. The only way to survive the 40s and hit this goal is to keep your fixed housing and transportation costs low, allowing you to relentlessly funnel your surplus cash into compounding investments. You must have a clear plan for your biggest expenses, and you must know exactly what your target retirement number is. Section 4. The Catch-Up 50s. Entering your 50s, reality begins to set in quickly. The median net worth jumps to $192,964, while the skewed average actually crosses the $1 million mark. For many people, the 50s are a massive wake-up call because retirement is suddenly less than 15 years away. The target for this decade is to have 8 times your annual salary saved by age 60. If your household makes $100,000, you want to be crossing the $800,000 mark. If you are behind the median at this stage, it is time to deploy your absolute best secret weapon: catch-up contributions. In 2026, workers over the age of 50 can contribute up to $32,500 per year into a 401k plan, which is an extra $8,000 more than younger workers. You can also contribute $8,600 into an individual retirement account. This is the decade where you must maximize every single tax-advantaged account available to turbocharge your progress before the finish line. It is also the time when you need to start diversifying your investments, shifting some of your portfolio toward fixed income and bonds, because capital preservation is about to become your top priority. Section 5. The finish line of your 60s. Finally, we reach the typical retirement age, your 60s. The median net worth for households in their 60s sits at $290,920. The financial target to retire comfortably is having 10 times your final salary saved by age 65. Here is the brutal truth about that median number. $290,000 is simply not enough to fund a 30-year retirement on its own. Using a standard 4% withdrawal rate, that portfolio only generates about $11,600 a year in income. Even when you add in the average Social Security benefit of about $2,071 per month, you are looking at an incredibly tight lifestyle where you have to meticulously track every single penny. At this stage, your priorities must be completely locked in. Your biggest goals in this decade should be making sure your retirement dates are finalized, knowing exactly how much you will spend each month, and making absolutely sure your primary house is completely paid off. Once that 30-year mortgage disappears, your required monthly income drops dramatically, taking an enormous amount of pressure off your investment portfolio. Ultimately, these average and median benchmarks are just survival metrics, not the ultimate limit of your potential. If you check your accounts today and realize you are behind the median for your age, do not panic. The absolute worst thing you can do is let fear paralyze you into doing nothing. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. You have the power to change your trajectory by controlling your lifestyle, focusing heavily on the gap between what you earn and what you spend, automating your savings, and letting compound interest do the heavy lifting. If you are ready to stop drifting through your financial life and want to start building undeniable liquid wealth, hit that subscribe button right now and join our community.